One of the major roadblocks that new sellers have when selling using the wholesale business model on Amazon is simply finding wholesalers and landing them. Now, this is obviously an issue because without a wholesale account, you're going to have access to no products. And without products, you're going to have no business. So what is it that you may be doing that is keeping you from landing these accounts or keeping you from finding them? Well, I'm going to outline that in this video, so stay tuned all the way through because I think there's a lot of value here. Now, if you would, go ahead and comment below. Let me know what you think of the video as it goes. Tell me what you think of the channel. Hopefully you like my videos. And as always, like and subscribe. And without further ado, guys, let's get into it. So first off, finding new distributors. There are several videos on this channel where I go over in detail different tactics to help you find distributors very quickly. So if you have not watched those videos, go ahead and do that after this video. If you have watched the videos on my channel and you've done a lot of research on how to find distributors, different tactics, ways you can do it using Google, ways you can do it using SpyFu, Wholesale Central, calling up brands, going to brand websites, doing everything everyone talks about. Well, one major thing you might be missing is you might be sticking to a category that just is not working well for you. Keep in mind, there are so many different categories on Amazon, and if you've not ventured out to explore all the different categories that are out there, you may be making a very big mistake. In the first year that I began selling on Amazon, I made the mistake of only sticking to one category, and I lost so much potential sales simply because I never ventured out. I never explored other categories, and I didn't realize that there were so many different opportunities out there that I simply passed on because I was married to one category and I didn't open my eyes to see the entire market. Because remember, on Amazon, you can sell pretty much anything. The goal is only to make a profit. So it doesn't matter if you're selling toys, doesn't matter if you're selling games, doesn't matter if you're selling office supplies, pet supplies, if you're selling soap. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you selling a lot and are you making a profit? So do not stay married to one category. If you're having an issue finding a distributor in a category, then maybe switch and try something new. Another reason you might be struggling to find distributors is simply because you are focusing on too large of brands. Now, it's important to realize that big brands typically not only own their own manufacturing, but they also own the distribution channels of their products, and they don't rely nearly as much on smaller distributors to get their product to retailers. Whereas smaller and medium-sized brands do not have the resources to not only manufacture their own products, but they also do not have the connections and resources to distribute their own products to retailers throughout the country. So what they do is they work with distributors. Now, these are the distributors that we are trying to make connections with so that we can sell products on Amazon.com as retailers. So if you are focusing on too large of brands, it might be difficult to find the distributors associated with these brands simply because the brand doesn't list them on their website. They might not disclose them to you over the phone, whereas smaller brands are going to know exactly who their distributors are. They may even list them on their website. So if you're focusing on these smaller and medium-sized brands, you might have an easier time finding distributors. Now, if you spend a whole lot of time learning how to find distributors and you have had no luck finding any of your own, well, then my guess is that you have not spent enough time looking. Either that or you are not paying for the tools that you need to be using to assist in your search. These are two important things for you to grasp, because if you aren't spending the time and you don't have the tools, it's going to be very hard for you to have any success at all. It's important to realize that you're not going to find decent distributors right away. This can take time, and once you begin finding distributors, it's actually kind of nice because then it becomes easier and easier to find more and more distributors. So make sure that you are spending the time and you are using the appropriate resources in your search. If you're not having any issues finding distributors, but for the life of you, you can't land an account with one, well, there could be several things you're doing wrong. One of the things I notice a lot of new sellers resort to is email communication with suppliers rather than picking up the phone and giving them a call. It's always best practice to call new distributors when you're trying to land an account because it accomplishes one of two things. First off, it gives the distributor a chance to ask you some introductory questions and establish basic trust. Now, they're probably going to ask you things such as what kind of products do you carry, what kind of brands do you carry, and what's your monthly and yearly sales volume. Now, the second thing this accomplishes is it allows you to apply a little bit of pressure to get the application process rolling quicker. Now, the way you're going to do this is by using one of several tactics. What I like to do is I like to refer to their competition and name drop another supplier that I may or may not be working with. And so what I will say is, hey, I'm currently working with XYZ supplier. They are currently stocked out. I've been told that you carry these brands and these products, and I'd like to open an account today so I can place an order. Now, this is going to really give them a motivation to open an account quickly so they can steal you as competition away from the other suppliers. And it's going to make them realize that you're already established, you already have connections with other suppliers, and you're already working in this business. So it might keep them from asking any more questions. So it's always better to pick up the phone, give a supplier, distributor a call rather than resorting to email, because emails most of the time are going to be glazed over and you might never get a response. Another mistake you might be making is right out of the chutes disclosing that you are an Amazon seller. Now, it's never suggested to lie or not be honest. You should always be forthright when asked whether you sell on Amazon. But if you come right out of the chutes and you say, hey, I'm an Amazon seller, it can send the wrong message. First off, sellers on Amazon have a bad rap for not being professional and not being legitimate retail businesses. Distributors do not want to work with someone who's not going to follow through and place an order and be a good business partner. So if you come out right away and say you're an Amazon seller, they might think that you're a newbie, because really you are, and you're not going to be placing any orders, and they're just not going to take you seriously at all. So if you do disclose you're an Amazon seller, it's in your best interest to at least tell them your projected sales volume and your projected monthly orders. Either that, or don't even disclose this. Simply tell them you are a retailer, tell them the city you're from, and leave that off the table for now unless specifically asked. Because once again, if you are asked, it's always in your best interest to be honest and tell them exactly what you plan on doing with the inventory and where you plan on selling it. And finally, it's always a good idea to search a new distributor's website for any customer application that might exist, and then have this completed and ready to go before contacting the distributor. That way, once we contact them, there can be less questions asked and we can get straight to the point, apply that pressure that we talked about earlier in the video, so that the sense of urgency to get this account created quickly goes up and we have less hiccups or problems with this process. So that's it for this video. I hope that it has answered some of the questions you might have as to why you're not able to find distributors or land distributor accounts. If it did, go ahead and smash that like button if you would. And if it left some questions in your mind, go ahead and put those in the comment box below, and I will do my best to answer them there for you. And with that said, thank you very much for watching all the way to the end, and we will see you very shortly in the next video. See you.